What's up, everybody, man? I just got done doing my motherfucking backyard boogie. Today was leg day, people. Like I said, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. And like I'm gonna tell you today, and I've told you in the past, you cannot build a motherfucking house on a straw. So with that being said, you got to make sure you get up and get yours. And if you haven't figured it out, shoot me a DM or leave me a comment here, and I'll get you going on becoming that best version of yourself. I do have the blueprint to success, people. Well, anyways, back to the system getting processed. I'm going to give you a short little glimpse on the way it was with me going through the court system. I usually started off in municipal court and ended up bonded over to superior court. You know, for those of you that know, you're familiar with dry runs and shit. The motherfucking county just used you to make money off of you. But anyways, that's here nor there. You know what I mean? So anyways, you're going through the system, you're sitting in that courtroom, you go through the battles. Times have changed. You could run it in with your enemies now. You know what I mean? Back then it was a little bit different in my time. You know what I mean? We ran things differently. But anyways, I'm not going to get into too much detail. And if you know, back then we put in work differently, and there wasn't cameras inside them holding tanks, so we were able to do our thing. We took chances with residents and just casual folks being in there because they're real quick to drop a dime on you, and they're sitting there fucking shaking like a mini bike because they don't know what to expect. Or most people live in fear when they don't know the unexpected. You know what I mean? It's natural, you know what I mean. You get that weird feeling inside. It could be fear in a bad way and fear in a good way. You know what I mean? It could put you on your motherfucking guard. But anyways, it's the lifestyle that I grew up with. You know what I mean? There's homies that came down through the county that already had you know um, information on certain individuals. So certain individuals had to get dealt with right there in the fucking tank. You know what I mean? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So like I said, during my time, it was a lot easier to get away with shit because there all these cameras inside in the holding tanks. They weren't there. You know what I mean? So we could do our thing. You know what I mean? Get our backyard boogie on in there. But anyways, so, you go out throughout the motherfucking day waiting your turn to get called and shit. And especially if you're just new going through there, you know what I mean? You're just going to go get a rain and shit. So you're going to sit there. So my advice to anybody that's going to go through that system, make sure you eat your food in there because you're going to get fucking hungry when you get back through the process. If it hasn't changed the way it was back when I was going through the system, you know what I mean? Because once saw the judge and shit and you getting sent back to the county, a lot of you folks that are out there, you're aware of that lucky seven. You know what I'm talking about, that lucky seven. I was never one of them motherfuckers that had that lucky seven. That lucky seven, you were guaranteed to get processed in and processed out. You know what I mean? You lucky motherfuckers. Well, anyways, hey, to each his own. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I filled my shoes and I had to walk in them. So be it. But anyways, you know what I mean? So court's over, you know what I mean? I would load up on them court line sandwiches, find it weird, call it whatever you want. I used to love them court line sandwiches, man. They were provided by that fucking government cheese that we used to get, thick slice, thick ham, and I would eat them motherfuckers up, you know what I mean? Because I knew once we got back to the county, going through that process, man, it was a motherfucking wait, boy. You were in there for it felt like days before you would find housing. You know what I mean? That's all good, because I would get my boogie on in there. You know what I mean? You let me out of a cell, I'm going to go fucking mingling. I'm going to go see who's there, where you at, what's going on. You know what I mean? Find out what's the latest. You know what I mean? What's changed. You get up to date. Update my program, you know what I mean? Because every time you go back through the system, shit changes, you know what I mean? So you got to update your software because if not, you can find yourself in a wreck, you know what I mean? There was a particular time where, we would always get stripped down, butt naked, do the coffin squat and all that shit, and then I remember going back through the system again where they wanted to put us through the metal detector, but that was against our rules. So, we didn't go through no metal detector. Fuck that. So we refused it, and of course, we got sat back and put in our tanks, and the process got put on hold. And I mean, to me, it was no fucking thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't gonna get me out anytime sooner. So, hey, you got to roll with the flow, people. So it's the lifestyle, you know what I mean? So if you're not prepared for that type of lifestyle, you know what I mean? And I'm just giving you guys an example of the lifestyle that I lived, you know what I mean? The life that I've experienced, going through the system and ending up behind those walls. I'm starting off from the county. I did a lot of county time. I did a little state time. Like I said in the past, and I'm not gonna say that I've been fucking stretched out, because I didn't. You know what I mean? I was on one of them lifetime commitment ones. You know what I mean? I would go back and forth. I had more than one number. So it was they had an old word for it, but I'm very superstitious about this shit, so I'm not gonna jinx myself. I'm not gonna use that word. You know what I mean? It's like the homies would always say when they would go get released, don't ever say you're never coming back, man, because all you're going to do is jinx yourself. So I was one of them persons that would never say that, you know what I mean? Because you just never know. And I'm being real about this shit. I'm keeping it 100, you know what I mean? I do good nowadays, you know what I mean? I focus on my fitness and all that shit, but you just never know. And coming from the background that I come from, like I've said in the past, we people that done time behind them walls, or just going through, especially through the LA County, you know what I mean? LA County's turned up. I'm sure it still is, but it's changed a lot from the time when I was going, because they separated all the races now. But we go from 80 to 100 like this. The average cat goes from 0 to 100. You know what I mean? They have time to think. We don't. We act in our on instinct, animal instinct. It's that warrior in us. You know what I mean? That mentality, that mindset that we created, living amongst other people with like-minded minds. So we had to live on our toes at all times. On all 10 of them, and just be ready. We stood ready. That way we didn't have to get ready. That's one of the other things that I touched on about 9500 as well. Staying suited and booted. We never came out of our shoes. I mean, shit, you take off your shoes in the county back in them days, you'd come up short. Somebody would steal them motherfuckers, especially if you didn't have somebody keeping gallo. But it was mandatory for us, you know what I mean? One up, one down. We took turns, and that place stood rocking and rolling. But anyways, going through the system, man, you know what I mean? Going through the process and shit, we'd get to the processing. Some of us would get that lucky 7, and they'd get booted out, processed in, processed out. Me, I've never got that. I'm going to tell you the most luck I've ever gotten with going through the county system. Those of you that know and familiar, Mira Loma. Doing time in Mira Loma, that was love. Nothing but homies, raza over there. We used to play this code game. I'm not going to say what race, but it's just part of going through the system and shit. Hey, some people would say, "Hey, gee, what's this number for?" Oh shit, you going to meet a Loma fool? Oh, these fools, they would get low key. They would get them. I don't want to go there because there was nothing but raza right there. You know what I mean? And no matter how people are going to take this, you know what I mean? It's all about respect, people. You know what I mean? We lived amongst other races, and some places live better programs than others. You know what I mean? It all depends who was running it at the time and how they had control and were putting the reglas down, the rules. Keeping the people informed of this is the way we ran shit. And when I was going through the system, me myself, I made sure people that rolled up and shit, I gave them a rundown on how things went and where to go and not where to go, and what was ours and what wasn't ours, and the respect for other races, this and that. And that's just to keep the system rolling. It wasn't that you feared anybody, because you don't fear nobody in there. You know what I mean? Everybody bleeds the same. You know what I mean? I was at war with a lot of people. Some of the races, they had it bad back in the days when I was going through the system. They got the blues. You know what I mean? And if I were to say, I would hurt a lot of people's feelings on here. It would stir something up different, and I'm not going to, and I won't ever speak on that. And for the people that know, the people that have done time with me in my generation, in my time, you know exactly who I'm talking about, man. And the writers that made it through, I tip my hat. I salute you guys, man, because you guys had the blues. And no, I'm not talking about the homies that had the green light on them. And you guys also know who I'm talking about, them going through the system. I tip my hat to you guys as well. You know what I mean? I got a lot of good camaradas from them cats that had the green lights on them. I want to give a shout out to my boy from Lopez, man. But like I said, I don't want to put no names out there. And people know who this cat is. When he rode up, he announced who he was, and he was from Lopez Maravilla. My boy, he was on Sweezy too. You know who I'm talking about. Boy had hands on him. But he went through the system, though, boy, man. Woo, I got nothing but love for you, homie. You already know who I'm talking about. If you're out there still, homie, I know you are, and I heard that you're Christian now. Much love and respect, my boy. But 9500, going through Charlie Road, Denver Road, Baker Road, back in the day, 3800, 2800, all them modules. He made his announcement when he was there. And he was from Lopez Maravilla. That fool, he was a fool. But yeah, for those of you that know, the Maravilla homies, they had the green light on them for the longest. And but anyways, people, going through the system, like I said, it was a trip, man. And I'm going rambling on. I'm jumping from here topic to topic, but it's all good. You know what I mean? I'm gonna touch back through the process, because process was no joke, man. You know what I mean? And shit would jump off in that fucking holding tank all the time, and then having to be nuts to butts with motherfuckers. And some of these cats were stinky as fuck coming through the system. I mean, I was on my worst behavior at one time too, where I hit rock bottom, but I never got to that level, man. I don't know what goes through these people's minds, but my goodness, they go in there, they smelling riper than a motherfucker. But anyways, people, I'm gonna bring this story to an end right here, people. And yeah, like I said, man, going through the system was a motherfucker, people. But anyways, don't forget, people, if you want to get right with your health and, become that best version of yourself, don't forget, man, shoot me a DM. Go to my Instagram, High Power Fitness, and I'll get you started. I built some fucking badass programs for people, and they get some amazing results. I build a custom personalized training program, a daily workout routine that I track on my personalized workout program, and I build a nutrition program that I keep an eye on daily for you. That way you hit your numbers and you reach your fitness goals. I guarantee, man, you will get some results, man. I'm 53, and like I said, I got results like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm on my A game, people. Well, anyways, so with that being said, people, make sure you get up and get yours. Like, subscribe, and put your notification bell on all. Make sure you send this video and share with other people. Let's get this fucking channel going, people. Let's get up and get yours now. Let's do this.